Thanks to a provision in the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp is no longer a federally illegal controlled substance in the United States. The passage of the Farm Bill allows farmers and cultivators to grow the once demonized cannabis plant and to even restart long-forgotten operations. The Mind Unleashed reports that, as it turns out, legally allowing farmers to grow the plant and sell it to processors is having a massive effect on employment in the United States across multiple sectors. The hemp industry took in $1.1 billion in revenue in 2018 and is on track to more than double that in 2022, with $2.6 billion in revenue, according to New Frontier data. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Hewlett-Packard is known for their basic, no-frills computers, but that doesn't mean they can't keep up with the latest technology. In a press release yesterday, HP said, quote, "We are excited to begin offering that cloud thing that everyone is talking about. We definitely have the cloud on our computers, and it is better than anyone else's cloud." Earlier today, I sat down with HP spokesman Gary Klinman, who said the company couldn't wait to show people, quote, how they do their cloud stuff.
We are absolutely thrilled that now people with computers or phones, both will now be able to back things up to the cloud.
Klinman says it isn't surprising they're, quote, up on the cloud, considering they're on the cutting edge of all the latest tech trends. Are there any additional features?
Crowdsourcing is something we are having. Crowdsourcing 2.0. We have social sharing. We have 5G, 6G, really all the Gs. We have app. We have all of it in the computer.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on the airwaves. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And Angie.
Just pick up the phone. Call 855-450-3733, and you can talk about whatever you want. Also, you can use our Discord lines. Go to discord.freetalklive.com, and you can download the app there, and it makes it a lot easier, and you're a lot clearer. That's discord.freetalklive.com. Until then, Angie, you've got an article about how to live better.
I do. The article comes from theguardian.com, written by Susan Saunders and Annabelle Streets. These are two women who had some health issues, and they saw that their family had to care for their mothers and their grandmothers, so they decided to do a little research. After they did blood testing and all that good jazz, they found that there are a few secrets to healthy life. One of the first ones, enjoy coffee.
So coffee will help you enjoy life.
It will. It's a combination.
It certainly helps me enjoy life.
Yeah, I think it's great. A combination of the antioxidants, polyphenols, and phenylenediene, recently identified compound that researchers think...
Stuff.
Yeah, it helps fend off Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease.
Okay. And now, is that because, well, I guess you wouldn't know necessarily, but they probably studied caffeinated coffee as opposed to decaf coffee. So maybe it's the caffeine that's in it. I won't be able to participate because I can't drink caffeine. But nonetheless, I like the taste of coffee.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I like it for the caffeine, so...
you drug users over there, you're just drinking the coffee for fun.
What can I say? I am addicted. It also says that when you walk faster. Pick up your pace a little bit. It'll help get your heart rate increased.
You know, whenever I go for a walk with my wife, she is she's been speed walking since it was a thing back in the 90s. And I think women are just better at speed walking than men are. I think it's the hips. And
she's got long legs.
Yeah, well, I mean, for a woman, I've got longer legs than she's got, but I think it's the hips, personally. Either way, guys will chafe a little bit. And she's always, I have to slow her down to be able to catch up to her because she really books.
It also says that when you exercise in green space. Get outside, enjoy the fresh air, maybe on top of a mountain, do some yoga.
Half the year there is no green space here in New Hampshire.
You are right, but you can always go outside and chop wood, and that's considered exercise. It's just white space.
Good exercise.
It says that you should fast every day.
Okay.
That means that go for long periods without food. Your body will appreciate it.
I have heard that, and there's, intermittent fasting, as it's called, has gained some popularity. I've done it for some time now, but mostly what intermittent fasting means is eating dinner, and then not eating anything after dinner and then skipping breakfast.
Yeah, you could do that unless you go a little longer.
Yep.
The longest I went was 36 hours.
That's pretty impressive. If you can go to sleep, I that's the part that always bothers me is the idea of going to sleep.
Oh, no, I would go to sleep. No problem.
No.
So.
Going to sleep hungry just doesn't seem like something I could do.
But I pounded a lot of water because I exercise a lot.
Yeah.
So it also says build muscle. Again, exercise. They believe that resistance training is important for aging as aerobic exercise.
One of the first big markers of aging is that you're losing muscle mass.
Yeah, it says after 40, you lose 1% a year.
Right. And that means that you just can't do things the way you did them before. If you do resistance exercise, you're going to retain as much of that as possible.
Yep.
I worked at a gym for some time, for years, and we had an older guy who'd come in. He was probably in his late 70s, and he was still built. He had lost some muscle mass over time, and he didn't do huge, tremendous exercise. He didn't have some big workout or anything.
Yeah.
It was at one point he did, but now he was just maintaining as best he could.
Yep.
And by 78, he was beginning to lose muscle. And by what I mean by that is he's probably had as much muscle as I do now at 48.
That's pretty good. That's 30 years.
Yeah, he managed to retain pretty well.
Well, if I can do that,
his wife also came in, and she was. They were both just sort of, working out. That was their thing.
And I completely agree with that philosophy.
And if you're coming to the gym, you don't have to do the same exercises as your spouse in order to, have a good time or anything. But it's a place to go and hang out and have a good time.
I think so. It also says that reading books can help. Reading is sedentary and solitary. Frequent reading has been linked to longer, healthier lives. A study showed that 3,600 over 50-year-olds found that reading increased longevity by almost 2 years.
Reading, what's that mean? Just the people that read live 2 years longer than people who don't? Is the idea?
It says while those who read for more than 3.5 hours a week live longest, the researchers said that 30 minutes a day was still beneficial. Meanwhile, every expert seems to recommend reading as a means of getting to sleep.
Yes, they don't like you looking at your little screens.
Doesn't give your brain time to slow down.
Now, the one thing that I would have to say to that is I read all day. It's just I read a screen all day.
Yeah.
News stories and these sorts of things, and I doubt this is the kind of benefit that they're talking about.
No, it's probably a book, something with paper.
Yep, probably a book. That people love books.
It suggests that working longer can help you live longer, so don't retire so early.
I feel like it gives you something to do. Some people, they have that next thing that they want to do, whether it's golf or fishing or whatever. My father-in-law takes these things like they are jobs. But and so I'm pretty sure he's all right. But there's other people who are just like, oh, well, what am I going to do now? And they putter around and they don't get nearly as much. And life loses a certain level of meaning.
Oh, absolutely. It continues, it says, to keep learning, old brains are just as equipped to build new neurons and synapses as young ones. But this process works best when we repeatedly force ourselves to learn new things.
Yeah.
The brain loves novelties, craft games, even cooking from a new recipe. All can trigger the creation of neurons. But the more complex and more difficult the new activity is, the greater the rewards.
Right. So whatever it is that you do, like they said, crafts and games and, cooking on different recipes and, learning a new language, there's all kinds of things that one can do in order to keep your mind busy and working on new things. But if you just stick to the same old stuff, then you're not learning in the same way. You gotta find new things.
Yep, you have to expand.
Right.
YouTube is great for that.
It has had lots of instructional videos, that's for sure. Lots and lots of them.
One of my favorites is take a nap.
I like that one.
Get rest. clear out your medicine cabinet. Go
If I take a nap, though, I'm probably going to go to bed later. And that's, I don't know. Naps kind of throw things off for me if I'm not careful.
Well, what time do you get up in the mornings?
Well, 8:20 is usually my target time.
Okay, and what
Remember,
time?
I work evenings.
What time do you usually go to bed?
Somewhere around 11:30 to 12:30.
And your naps are like 20, 30 minutes, maybe?
Oh, no. If I take a nap, I'm down for an hour and a half.
Well, see, I'm up at 5:30, and I usually, if I take a nap, it's like 20, 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and I'm in bed by 11.
You have kids.
I
and
do.
They're coming to bother you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know if it's the 14-year-old,
Hi, Jay.
the 8-year-old, or the 18-month-old. One of them has got something to say.
It's the 18-month-old.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She's, she needs her mama.
Yes, she does. Clear out your medicine
Welcome,
cabinet.
Jay.
Thank you. Sorry I was late.
No problem.
But I listened on my way in.
Excellent. We're talking about ways to live longer.
I know. I like it.
It says only spend on vitamin D and zinc. Study after study has found that supplements have very little benefit.
Yeah.
We invest in a good food instead. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I've seen study after study go after supplements. I'm probably not going to stop taking the ones that I take, but I do. You're right. It's vitamin D and zinc are the ones that they can say these definitely your body can use these.
Mm-hmm.
And vitamin D can be difficult to get for people in the winter months and stuff like that. So it's a good idea to take it.
Says use olive oil as liquid gold. Such are benefits with improved heart health topping the list.
They don't say anything about cooking with it. I've heard things about, well, you're supposed to have it, raw or whatever, but not cook with it above 140 degrees or some shtick.
It just mentions that
That's how I felt too. Is just that drink the olive, just have the olive oil.
Yeah, just take a teaspoon.
Yeah,
You'll be okay.
Better than butter.
I agree.
Yeah. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. We're going to have more tips on how to live longer, live better, and your calls. 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live. I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com. I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehash stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today. Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in. Talk about what you want to talk about. We're talking about the ways that you can live well into your old age. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
And Angie.
Here's a very important way to live a bit longer and have a better life is to brush your teeth twice a day, every day. If you want to have whiter teeth, a cleaner smile, and fresher breath, use My Magic Mud. It's a black tooth powder made of charcoalized coconut shells and bentonite clay. Sounds crazy, right? Well, on Free Talk Live, we've been using My Magic Mud since they were just getting started, and we can testify that it is an awesome product. It's been, I don't know how many years, I'm going to guess about 8 or 10 years that I've been using My Magic Mud. I think 10 might be an exaggeration, but about 8. And it's so indispensable to my life that I haven't been without it that entire time. If I'm getting low on My Magic Mud, I'm terrible about replacing everything. Everything. My wife gets so angry. It was just this most recent time was sriracha sauce. I'm like, we're out of sriracha sauce. She's like, why didn't you tell me we were out of sriracha sauce? Well, with My Magic Mud, I take responsibility for this one, and I make sure that we have My Magic Mud in the house because it's so important to me. First, I used it for 4 days. And there's been a couple of times when I've sort of petered off. Maybe we went on vacation. I didn't bring it with me or something like that. And then I'll use it for 3 or 4 days. Again, I'll just go for 4 days, once a day. And that'll take all the stains off your teeth. It's amazing. And then every 3 or 4 days after that, and you will definitely see the effects. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I'm really, really certain that it cleans better than a regular toothpaste, too. You can get My Magic Mud at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get you 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com, FTL20, mymagicmud.com.
Yeah, teeth is very important for health.
Sure is.
I know a lot of old timers that like work, and one thing I've noticed about pretty much all of them is, they might not have a pretty smile, but I'm talking guys 80 years old. They got their teeth, and and they're healthy, but they're also like farmers and stuff, like dairymen. But that My Magic Mud is a great product, and it's got so many other good uses too. I actually years ago at a party, I had some with me, and there was a girl who had alcohol poisoning, and this was way out in the woods in Arizona, and everybody was concerned. So I actually took some probiotics that I had, and I opened the capsules up, dumped out the probiotics, and we filled them up with My Magic Mud, and we got the girl to drink them down, and she was like. Yeah, I mean, everybody agreed that it was okay to do. That was there, and she had drank too much, and we think it helped her out a lot.
Yeah, they have carbon pills. When I was in Mexico, I took them because I had what they call the turistas, which is a intestinal issue that affects people who are not used to that particular area.
Right.
Yeah. And that was what was prescribed by the doctor.
Well, we didn't have any carbon pills, but I had my magic mug because I actually have a thing of the powder in a glove box in my truck, and always have toothpaste in my truck because for years I didn't, there was a lot of times I didn't come home for a night or two because I was trucking or whatever. So I've always done that.
When we ordered My Magic Mud, we had never heard of it, never used it. But when we brushed our teeth, we did it really well. And the next morning, our gums hurt because we brushed our gums with My Magic Mud. And that is something that you do not do.
I'm also told that you never go more than 2 minutes. That's another thing as far as My Magic Mud goes. Angie, would you go on with the list?
Let's continue with this article from theguardian.com. Talks about bone density. You want to build bone density. Says that cardio is one of the most beneficial ways to do that.
Really?
Yep. If your joints are up to it, try jumping 10 to 20 times a day with a 30-second rest between each. Other high-impact exercises such as running or skipping also increases bone density. Resistance training such as lifting weights also boosts bones, but
that's what I would have thought.
Yep. But exerts less pressure on the joints.
Yeah.
If that all sounds too sweaty, ballroom dancing improves balance and coordination.
I always say, young men learn to dance because that will make you, you'll be the only guy in the room that can dance.
Oh, the only one that will
the only
dance.
straight guy in the room that can dance. And that's a nice position to be in.
Oh, definitely.
There's a Tom Petty song that starts off with Grandma and Grandpa, they're 90 years old, and they keep on going because they keep on dancing or something. And I can't remember the whole song.
Yep, I think dancing is great for dancing's great for everybody, and you shouldn't be worried about what you look like doing it because you're just not that important anyway, right? Like everybody's worried about themselves, not about you. So have a good time and move and get excited and have a good time.
It helps with your bones.
That much too. Let's go with Sarah calling in from Albuquerque. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, actually, I walked by an alkaline water store here in Albuquerque.
There's a store that only sells alkaline water?
Yeah, I have seen alkaline water, and I've seen it in the stores. Like I was walking to CVS.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Alkaline. You did hear about it, right?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know much about it. I've heard that you don't want to get it too alkaline because it'll bond with things, but I don't really know the specifics.
Well, remember the alkaline actually, I said calcium is alkaline, and that actually helps to cure cancer. Alkaline drives out the acid out of the body, and it brings in the oxygen. And I'm thinking this must be the same concept. Because I went to like a health food store, and there was a water filter, like kind of like a Brita, like a picture one. So they charcoal filter the water of impurities, and then it has like these white like calcium like pebbles. And I'm thinking if they are calcium or dolomite or something similar.
Well, what color are they?
Then they were white, and
they're not dolomite then.
White circles. So then they percolate through these white rocks, and I'm assuming they're some form of calcium. And then
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I should have asked them because I've never seen.
So this is
water filter
supposed to be some miracle
way.
cure that fixes everything, kind of thing, or what?
Well, I did not know. I have no idea. It's popular enough where I've seen a store. Like, you could go in there and
that amazes me that you can go into a store. Thank you for the call, Sarah. I appreciate that. That there's a store, like a store just dedicated to alkaline water. I can't believe it.
Well, they probably sell you the alkalizing machines. I was in Colorado, and there was a place that you could go in there and they just give you some alkalized water if you want to drink it, and you could buy bottles of it. But you can actually, I actually, Market Basket here in New Hampshire, you can see alkalized water, 9.5 pH. We'll tell you one thing when it comes to coffee. Years ago, a friend of mine had a coffee shop, and what he used to do is he used to alkalize the water. He had a machine to alkalize it, so when he brewed the coffee,
beans make it more acidic.
Right.
So it brings it back to basic.
Yeah, it brings it back to basically base. And most of our bodies are very acidic anyways because we consume so much sugar and processed junk food.
That's interesting. That part I've heard, and it sounds interesting to me, the sort of trying to rebalance, but I don't know any of the specifics. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE as in Free Talk Live.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live, and you are free to call in and talk live here on the airwaves. We're talking about ways to make yourself live longer, live better, and you're welcome to call in. The number is 855-450-3733. You can talk about that or anything else that's on your mind. 855-450, free as in freedom. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
And Angie.
Jay, we're going to go to Fork Fest here, and I think it's like 3 weeks. It's really soon.
Oh, is it that soon? I got so much stuff to get prepared. If anybody's interested in blacksmithing,
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Gosh.
Really. If anybody's interested in blacksmithing, I'm setting up my man camp there. So man camp's going to be geared more towards kids, but I'm going to have plenty of adult stuff too. So
kids need to learn these things, but adults sure should.
Yeah, it's a good. I got some more complex, bigger things in mind that adults can forge. Kids, I got a couple of small, coat hanger, hanging basket hanger type things they can forge. A little lighter steel than I've been using.
Jack, my son, went and you were testing out this equipment with him, and he made a basket hanger for his mother, and now his grandmother heard about it, and she wants one too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Now, orders are coming in.
Actually, Jack's got a couple of projects. They want a little firewood holder thing made. I got some pictures of that, and he's excited to do it. So, Fork Fest 2019. Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians this summer from June 13th to June 18th for Fork Fest 2019 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Fork Fest happens right before the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and Fork Fest is decentralized, which means no one's in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping or RV site or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 13th through June 18th. You can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning on an event for Fork Fest, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with other Fork Festers via the unofficial Telegram chat or the Fork Fest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party.
Because nothing's official.
Yeah.
It's forkfest.party, right?
Forkfest.party. And a note I need to throw out there is one of my biggest issues I have with my man camp thing is kids show up in jogging pants and shorts and flip-flops, which it doesn't really work too well.
At a camping festival.
Well, I mean, even when I show up to my house for it, I guess I haven't been really clear with it all the time. But yeah, if you throw a set of,
the worst jeans you got, right?
Well, jeans don't have holes in them.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be pieces of metal flying around, and somebody's going to get burnt.
Sometimes they get burned. I mean, you don't want to send their best jeans.
Shiloh got burned, but he remembers now.
Oh yeah, actually, when Shiloh got burnt, he was like, "Hey, Jack, that hurts when you get burnt," and he definitely paid attention like a lot better right at, and it was a little superficial burn,
just a little piece of metal flies off.
What I call a safe learning injury.
Well, that's happening in welding.
Continue on ways to live longer. Cultivate friendships. It says that loneliness is a big mortality risk as diabetes. Research links social isolation to dementia, heart disease, stroke, depression, and a 29% greater risk of dying.
Wow. That's that's pretty impressive that that just getting out and doing something with people can really make a difference. And many of these places have senior center. Many towns have senior centers and
community centers.
Community centers and that kind of thing. And there's always some hobby that you can participate in and find people to talk to.
Absolutely. You just have to get out there and try new things. Don't be afraid to look stupid or to not know anything. Just go try it.
I have a lot of friends in high school, their grandmothers passed away, and I specifically remember I had 4 or 5 buddies. I think it was their grandmothers, and it was like, well, but their grandmothers just sat in the house and watched soap operas. That's what those people did, when I was a little boy.
Yep.
And they were when they retired at 65 or whatever, they literally just parked themselves on the couch. And I remember we were young, I don't know, I was 8, 9 years old, and my grandma died. Oh man, that's terrible. But my grandmother, she was running around doing all kinds of stuff, taking care of us kids and helping us with things, and she was very, very active. And actually, both pretty active still. Both of my grandmothers still around, and they're both very active, and I think that's why they're still around.
I think activity makes the difference.
One thing that it suggests is to change how you eat, particularly in the evening. Changing how you eat rather than what you eat can make a bigger impact on longevity than radical dietary overhaul. Piles of vegetables, whole grains, pulses, and lean protein fill up our plates now. We also aim to eat earlier whenever possible to allow digestion to kick in well before bedtime.
That seems like a good idea. And so, don't. It's not telling you got to cut out all the food. It's just changing how you eat
and when you eat.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely helps me out a lot. And if I get into this routine of working really late and not eating, and I get home, I'm hungry, and I have a hard time sleeping if I eat at 10 o'clock and try to go to bed at 11, or a lot of times I get home at midnight and have something to eat, get into bed, and then it's and I wake up and I'm just it's like I hadn't even gotten to sleep.
Yeah, things go poorly when I'm responsible for feeding myself. I eat the wrong things, I eat them at the wrong times.
Yeah, and it's easy to do, especially if you don't food prep.
Yeah.
Something else you can do is add turmeric to your diet. It's an anti-inflammatory.
So I have been eating turmeric in a capsule form every day for years. My wife put me on it. I'm not exactly sure what the heck the reason is, but I presume it's good.
Now, when you first started taking the capsules, could you tell the difference?
No.
Okay.
I don't pay that much attention. I'm not exactly the most in tune with my body either.
Okay.
I just, I'm just taking what I'm supposed to be taking.
So I started having some lower back pain about 7-8 years ago. And I was actually in Colorado at the time, and I was sleeping on a bed that wasn't that good, and talking to one of my buddies about it, and she's like, she literally gives me a bottle of this turmeric. She capsulates it herself, and just take 3 of these a day with some kind of fat, whether it be coconut oil or some butter. And so now what I do is I put turmeric literally on almost everything. And one important thing with turmeric is you kind of have to consume it with a fat, otherwise it just doesn't really work, and that's kind of left out of many things.
Says this here with black pepper too.
That is what they say also, but I put it in my bulletproof coffee.
Does it have a flavor?
People definitely taste the turmeric, and I gave someone this weekend we had a bunch of people over the house, and I made bulletproof coffee for everybody, just the way I do it, and they're like. My one brother's like, oh, this is good. The other brother's like, this is terrible. Did you put turmeric in here?
It suggests meditating. Meditation isn't just a hippie woo-woo. Research shows it has powerful effects on the brain. It appears to reduce stress and promote empathy, and regular practitioners seem not to lose gray matter or suffer reduced concentration as they age. Just 15 minutes a day is enough to strengthen telomeres, the caps that protect our DNA.
Huh. Telomeres? Is that?
Yeah, telomeres.
Telomeres? Sounds right. Okay. I had no idea that was the case. I go to a Quaker meeting, and a lot of people call what we do meditating. I think there's a pretty good argument for it.
What's Quaker?
Yeah, so Quaker's the tradition is Christian, right? They started in the 1650s. But it has, it's splintered, and there's several different kinds, but more or less we sit in silence and wait on God to speak to us. So that means sitting in silence and determining, what it is that is going through your head is of God, and what's just a bunch of stuff rattling around. And
okay.
There's always that.
How often do you do that?
I do that weekly for an hour.
Just once a week?
Yep.
Okay.
But it's easy to sit for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is a pretty easy thing to do, and I would recommend for people. Some people just concentrate on their breathing. Just pay attention to your breathing, and then when you start thinking about things, which is inevitable, just let that thought go, and then get back to thinking about breathing, and keep returning to the breath. And that's a good way to do the sort of meditation thing and see what the value is for you. Many people really enjoy it. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. 10 minutes is really achievable, too. Free Talk Live.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits, at mypatriotsupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at mypatriotsupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. mypatriotsupply.com.
Are you about to meet the media? If you're about to be interviewed, do their homework for them. Know this about the person who will interview you. He or she is busy, so expect minimal, if any, preparation. He or she doesn't know as much about your topic as you do. He or she isn't as concerned as you are about getting your message out, so you need to take responsibility. Provide a biography and fact sheet, photographs, or other materials that tell your story. Reporters won't be put off if you supply frequently asked questions. Remember, Public Speaking 101, at the end of the speech, what's the one thing you want them to remember? You can download the document I supply to reporters who interview me and squirm through a video that demonstrates how not to conduct your media interview at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
And Angie.
855-450-3733. 855-450. Free as in freedom. We're talking about this list of ways to live longer and live better. And we're going to be wrapping it up here in the near future. It seems great. Seems like good advice and ways to just sort of be happier. I advise it. So, Angie, please continue.
There's just a few more of them. One of them says to eat more fiber. Says that if you make just one dietary change to boost your longevity, make it this one.
So they buried it here. By the way, it should have been the first one if that's what they're thinking. But I would agree. I used to say this is eat 5 prunes a day, and it'll change your life, and it really will. Like, things work better with 5 prunes a day. They're relatively cheap in the store. Get them.
One of the biggest effects or causes of colon cancer, I believe, is the fact that there is like this layer of
this impacted stuff,
just crap in your bowels that's been there for years in some cases, and some of these people go, what is that? There's like their rotor-rooter, up your backside, and they flush everything out. I can't remember what that's called.
Enema.
Well, it's like it is like a form of enema, but it's like you can see it going in the tube and stuff, and basically, years ago, one of my friend's fathers had it done, and the nurse said, if you just ate a couple prunes every day, you wouldn't have had to come here for this. And they pumped 18 pounds worth of matter or something, and he felt so good after it. He felt exhausted the next day, but days later, I was in high school, and so that guy started with chia seed, and he's actually in really good shape right now. He's in better shape now than he was back then, and he's in his 60s now.
Amazing story.
Yeah, fiber's so important, and they tell us with horses and everything too. Horses their diets are mostly fiber, and they have to keep it moving through them, or they get colicked and impacted and all kinds of problems.
Well, this says that fiber slows the digestion of food, thus keeping insulin levels in check, which in turn reduces inflammation, and some types of fiber ferment in the body, producing short-chain fatty acids, which also dampen inflammation. Something else it suggests, avoid blue lights in the evening.
Really?
Our electronic devices played havoc with our delicate
circadian rhythm?
Yes, thank you. Screens produce blue light, which helps wake us up in the morning, but at night suppresses production of melatonin, the vital sleep-inducing hormone. Control your exposure by adding time-sensitive filters that block blue light from your laptop.
They do actually have those. Some laptops and some smartphones will have a blue light filter for the device. So I guess that's the idea. I didn't even know why they did it. I just looked at it and this doesn't look realistic. I turned it off. But maybe it's a timer.
Maybe
for
they
that.
work.
Yeah.
It says to look after your eyes. The best way to protect our eyes is to avoid smoking. Keep active and eat healthy, including foods rich in macular pigments. Anything bright yellow, orange, or green is a rich source. It says to walk a dog. The health benefits of owning a dog are obvious. Dogs need walking, caring for, and routine, all of which help us age better.
I, as a matter of fact, borrow people's dogs for the purpose of having something to walk in the morning. If I don't have the dog, I'm not going to go on a walk, but the dog gets used to the walk, and then the dog wants the walk.
And the dog is so appreciative that you take her on that walk.
It's always right. A little bit of time, and it's great.
The last one says cultivate optimism. Studies have found that older people with a negative attitude to aging have worse functional health, slower walking speeds, and lower cognitive abilities than those with a more positive attitude.
I think everybody knows this, is that a good attitude is going to last you longer in life than a bad attitude.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people all my life who have had this negative attitude, and their quality of life really sucks compared to the people who just have good attitudes. I know a handful of these people.
I always suggest looking at the glasses half full instead of half empty.
Well, there's a lot good to say about it, that's for sure. Let's go to the phones here. We got Dave calling in from Poughkeepsie. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
I just have a quick question for Angie. I don't know how to go about asking it, but it's just a question that I've always wanted to. It's just a question that I want an answer to.
Okay, go ahead.
What would be there's a couple of chicks who I like, right? What without sounding too creepy-ish, or without sounding too I don't know how to say it or whatever, but what would be the best way, or how would I approach the question of how to ask a woman if she has hair down there?
I would just ask her, are you clean shaving? Do you trim?
Why would you want to know this?
Ask her to take a peek.
Oh, God.
I mean, really.
You want to get him arrested, huh?
Yeah. So, Dave, I have some ideas, and I'd like you to consider these. Perhaps just ask her out for coffee. Because, if you want to know this information, you're probably gonna find it out at some point if she continues to go to coffee and meals with you and hangs out with you and that kind of thing, right? Like, a woman's not hanging out with you for no reason at all.
I got a question for Dave.
Or if she's choosing not to hang out with you, there's a reason. So what I would say is don't worry about that. It's a problem that you can that can be solved in short order. Just don't.
Well, I don't need to worry about it because I just want to know if they have hair down there.
Are they
I
friends of
understand
yours?
you want to know.
Are they friends of yours?
Yeah, there's a girl out in California who I know. There's a girl out in Boston who I know.
So these are people on the internet?
Actually, I'm friends with people on Snapchat.
Well, okay.
So, Dave, let's just say you're getting friendly with a lady and she's your girlfriend and you're going to go explore that region of her body. Would it make a difference if there was hair there or not? Are you going to be like, oh, no, I'm done? Are you going to run away if it's one way or another? I mean, does it really matter?
Well, I like girls to have hair down there. If they're clean shaven down there, it's like
It does look a little weird.
Well,
the what?
It can look a little weird if it's clean shaven.
So,
Yeah, because
but I think that the question, Dave, this was the question: is it really going to make a difference? The question is, would you kick her out of bed if for whatever reason she didn't have the proper grooming that you particularly like going on or lack thereof? I mean, does it really matter?
Yeah, it does matter.
Okay, well, when was the last time you had that opportunity to explore that region from anybody who you didn't have to pay?
Back in 2013.
It doesn't matter. Thanks for the call, Dave. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. This is what happens when men don't get physical attention. They begin to obsess on things and get weirder and weirder as time goes by. Ladies, that does not mean you have any kind of obligation. I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just saying that there are natural consequences. This is why we need to legalize prostitution, because...
I completely agree. But, he could just tell them that he likes the hair down there if they don't have it, and it grows fairly quick.
Yeah, it'll be...
So, I mean, it will be back soon. Don't worry, Dave.
Yeah, not an issue.
But, I don't know. First off, I would think, obviously, I know some girls that are friends of mine. I could say something like that too, but I mean, I wouldn't even. First, I don't even think I'd ask them.
Right, it's none of my business,
and I don't really care. Well, also, I'm married, so that
right. My wife is going to be disturbed at the notion.
Another
that I'm
reason
asking.
for me not to ask them. Not that I care, but like if some dude I don't know asked my wife, I'd be like. I might be more annoyed than her, or ask my little sister that, like if we were somewhere, or maybe just some, random girl, it's like, come on, man. I mean, you got to get your head out of the gutter. There's better things to focus your attention on in life.
Yeah, you just need to you need to determine whether they want to talk to you by talking to them, and let's just steer the conversation to areas of mutual interest as opposed to, what's the, what type of underwear you wear in T-backs or granny panties. This, not appropriate conversation if you want to continue going that direction. You're going to get the worst of interest. You're going to have the worst ladies interested in you if this is how you're going to talk to them.
But he's not alone here, because I have had that question asked to me by people that I don't know very well. Yeah. And, I would say that it shocked me, but it doesn't really. You just kind of take it with a grain of salt, you answer it, and you move on.
I know you can kind of take questions like this pretty well, is what I've noticed. But, I mean, yeah, I would call it inappropriate questions. That's how I see it. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450. Free is the freedom to ask ladies dumb questions. Free Talk Live.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-506-6740. 800-506-6740. That's 800-506-6740.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,280, silver at $14.41, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,646. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has been admitted into the hospital ward of Belmarsh, following reports by Assange's defense lawyer that a motion to delay a hearing in Sweden next Monday on the provably fraudulent rape allegations has been denied. Reuters reports the Swedish prosecutor heading an investigation into the rape allegation against Assange, which he denies, this month filed a request with a local court for him to be detained with a hearing scheduled for June 3rd. Activist Post reports that Assange's lawyer cited his health conditions as one of the reasons that the hearing should be delayed, stating that his client was not able to have a normal conversation, and as a result, he has not had enough time to get a defense together. However, despite ongoing health concerns of Assange, the court denied the motion to delay the hearing, scheduled for next Monday in Sweden. The denial of extending the hearing past Monday is compounded with originally denying lawyers access to court transcripts of statements to copy, pushing his defense to have to read documents and then remember what was said to write it up by memory, which would obviously create a flimsy defense by design. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. On Wednesday, National Security Advisor John Bolton told a group of reporters in Abu Dhabi that naval mines, almost certainly from Iran, had been used to conduct the alleged sabotage attack on 4 commercial vessels off the coast in the United Arab Emirates. Bolton is currently in Abu Dhabi ahead of an emergency summit scheduled for Thursday in Saudi Arabia, where top U.S. and allied Arab officials will discuss the implications of the tanker attacks and drone strikes 2 days later on oil pumping stations in the kingdom. Minpress News reports the murkiness that still surrounds what caused the tanker sabotage, as well as the very limited extent of the alleged damage, suggests that the poorly executed incident either did not go as planned or it was a freak accident that has now been manipulated for weeks by the U.S. and its regional allies for political gain. However, Iran is far from being the clear culprit, especially given that 3 foreign militaries, including the U.S. Navy, concluded a mine warfare naval drill just weeks before the sabotage incident occurred. Thanks to a provision in the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp is no longer a federally illegal controlled substance in the United States. The passage of the Farm Bill allows farmers and cultivators to grow the once demonized cannabis plant and to even restart long-forgotten operations. The Mind Unleashed reports that, as it turns out, legally allowing farmers to grow the plant and sell it to processors is having a massive effect on employment in the United States across multiple sectors. The hemp industry took in $1.1 billion in revenue in 2018 and is on track to more than double that in 2022, with $2.6 billion in revenue, according to New Frontier data. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Did you know that 35% of high school girls report that they've only had sex with 1 or 2 partners a year, instead of having the living shit f***ed out of them by any guy they see?
Did you know that only half of all 17-year-old males report f***ing without a condom, even though it's really the only way to go?
There are thousands of American teenagers today who are unaware of the full benefits of f***ing your brains out all day, every day. These otherwise average high schoolers haven't been taught about f***ing every chance you get, pounding each other dry, and never ever pulling out. Every sexually active high school student should know this stuff. Ditch the condoms, because it's always better raw. Stop worrying about STDs. F*** every chance you get. Just keep f***ing and f***ing and f***ing. Strangers, doesn't matter who. And most importantly, be direct with your partner about how badly you want to f*** their brains out.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever is on your mind. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
And Angie.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450. Free as in freedom. Got a story here from Reason Magazine. Lenore Skenazy writes, well, I'm not even going to read the title. Just going to start. A mom who let her 6 children, 6 children, Angie.
She's awesome.
It's an amazing woman. Wait 10 minutes in the car while she ran in to get them muffins at a local Kentucky cafe. Now, the impression I get here is this is a cafe in Kentucky, not that the brand of the cafe is Kentucky Cafe, like Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Sure.
not the same thing. All right. So she's the focus of an op-ed here, and it was co-authored by the Washington Post, and it says, Lenore Skenazy co-authored the op-ed. Perhaps you can guess what happened next to the mom. Because Lenore Skenazy, when she does an article, she's the what was called the world's worst mom. She's the author over at Free Range Kids, the Free Range Kids blog.
Yeah, some cop probably drove by and seen that a handful of kids are in the car, or some busybody called the cops and said the kids are left in the car.
Well, this is a cafe, so the cops could just be right there.
Well, that's true, too.
Yeah, but it's Kentucky.
They don't drink coffee in Kentucky?
Yeah, but I mean, how dangerous could it have been in the parking lot of this cafe?
Well, I don't know, but I had somebody. I think this was. Well, anyway, I'm going to tell the story third person because I can't remember who said this. That they walked the shopping cart to the cart corral. So what's that? 4 shopping, 4 parking space away, whatever it is. And they come back and somebody's hyperventilating at the window because their baby's in the car. Like, she put the baby in the car, put the groceries in the car, walked the cart to the cart corral, comes back, and some mom's there, or some woman is there.
Yep.
But, you know.
Every social justice warrior wants to be a hero.
Yeah. So, perhaps you can guess what happened next to the mom. Holly Curry. In fact, I'll bet you can. Though it was 67 degrees outside and partly cloudy. And although it is statistically safer to let kids wait in the car than to drag them across a parking lot, because every once in a while somebody gets run over in a parking lot, right?
Sure.
The heart-wrenching stories of kids who die in cars almost always involve children forgotten there for hours. Not kids who've been there for a minute.
And 6 of them. So there's at least one that's old enough to maybe open the door and ventilate the car if there was an issue.
Right.
Right?
6 of them, one of them has to be old enough to do that.
Does it say how old they are?
No, it doesn't. But, I mean, I doubt very seriously that they're all 18 months old and, sextuplets or septuplets. Sextuplets.
Sextuplets.
Yeah. It seems unlikely in that circumstance, but that there's probably an older child. But if a kid's left in a car, even an 18-month-old, even if a baby's left in a car for 3 or 4 minutes, there's nothing to get upset about.
No.
There just isn't.
I'm guilty. I do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your kid, your kid, you do have one that's quite young.
Yeah.
I mean, and they'll be fine.
I can remember my dad specifically said that he was going to have a mechanic set up the truck so he could lock us in the truck. When we were kids.
Well, I've met your brothers, and you guys probably deserved it. Let's go on here. Let's see. It involved children who were forgotten in there for hours, not simply waiting out an errand. Curry found herself in trouble with the police. This is quoted. When she came out less than 10 minutes later, 2 officers rebuked Curry for leaving her kids in the car. They told her she wasn't being arrested, just detained. Hold on. That doesn't even make any sense. A detention comes because you are either determining whether you should arrest somebody or shouldn't. Once you've determined that there is no arrestable offense, then a detention isn't in line, because a detention requires reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed. An arrest comes because the crime has been committed. So that doesn't make any sense. She started to cry and asked permission to call her husband, Josiah. That request was denied.
I would have just done it.
Me too. Yeah.
No one asked to see the kids, who were still waiting in the car, right? Like, if the problem was the kids being in the car without an adult being in the car, right? Okay, children in the car, the doors are closed. An adult isn't in the car. If adult is in the car and the doors are closed, everything's fine. But, the cops are keeping her from getting in the car. The officers told Curry that while they were not charging her with any crime, they're going to file a JC3 form, a hotline-type alert to the Kentucky Child Protective System.
This poor lady, they're going to be so in her business over this.
Is the police department or the officer's name in his article by any chance? Because I think the listeners need that.
I don't see it right now. No, I didn't dig that deep. To me, this could happen from any cop.
Sure.
This isn't... I really believe this is most cops doing this. Because, see, the thing is that we're all so busy. If you go, you're going past a car and you see a dog or a kid in a car and it's 85 degrees out, 90 degrees out, 95 degrees out, and you come back out 10 minutes later and they're still in the car, then you might start paying attention. Like the less the temperature, the less you're going to, pay attention. I certainly don't want to see any kids die.
I witnessed one of these incidents at Foxwoods Casino years ago. There was a couple of Asian babies in car seats in an SUV At about 4 o'clock in the morning, we stopped in there. It was my dad and I to go meet somebody, and we were coming through with horses, and we went in there and got some breakfast and came back, and we told the security guard on the way in, hey, this car, pointed out to him, blah, blah, blah. Came back through, car was still there, and it was daylight now. It was getting pretty warm, and it was all condensation on the inside. My father actually went and grabbed a tool out of the truck, I don't remember, maybe even a hammer, and popped one of the windows, set the car alarm off. Everybody shows up, security shows up, and they called the paramedics, and one of the kids was seriously dehydrated. Wasn't conscious. There was a big deal. They had us like fill out police reports and all that crap. But and from what we understand, I mean, those people, according to surveillance, had pulled in there like 5 or 6 hours before my dad and I even walked by,
right? And
just had the kids in there.
And I can see, a kid sleeping in a car, you're going to have to go check on them or whatever. But we, if my son was sleeping in the car, we left him in.
Mm-hmm.
We pulled into the garage and rolled down the windows and left him in the car until he got up. He would often be pretty cranky about it. He didn't like sleeping in the car, but, you fell asleep there, buddy. What do you want me to do?
This was like July, and it was like 80 degrees at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was really hot.
Yeah, that's not good. And, again, you have to use a certain amount of discretion. But the problem is that people don't have discretion. Now it's come to the point where if you leave a living thing in a car, then you have sentenced it to death. Even if you're just walking in to get a cup of coffee and you're going to be back out in, a minute.
But if you're a truck driver in New York State and you let that truck idle for more than 5 minutes, even though it's 104 degrees out and you're trying to sleep because you've been driving for your 12 hours, unless you have a dog in the truck. But if you don't have a dog, you're getting a ticket for idling. And this is
so
why
the
you
human doesn't matter,
right?
Really?
Yeah, this is in New York State is because I used to sleep in New York and idle my truck with the air conditioning on, and I had my pug with me, and the cop was like, "Oh, you got a dog in there? I didn't know that. You're okay." And I was like, "Hold on a minute." And he's like, "Yep." He goes, "Unless you have like some handicap reason or he went through the whole list, and one of them was a pet." Or livestock, or there's all these exceptions, but basically just because you're a truck driver trying to sleep and you're in a parking lot at noontime and you got to pull over and go to sleep because you've been awake too long.
Time to get a pet mouse at the local pet store.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, that'll take care of that problem. Going on here, the next day, a Child Protective Services investigator showed up, eventually with a sheriff's deputy. All this is laid out in a lawsuit the Currys are now pursuing. And this story goes on, and it is amazing. 855-450-3733. Have you had incidences where either A, you found people who left kids or pets in cars too long, or B, somebody who went crazy over you leaving one in for 5 minutes? Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL. I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehashed stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live.
This was the quote from the DEA's paperwork. Only products that were primarily intended or designed for use in injecting, ingesting, inhaling, or otherwise introducing marijuana and other controlled substances into the human body.
Injects marijuana?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how out of touch these people are.
They're trying to make it look like marijuana users are strung
Injecting
out
things.
heroin junkies.
Right.
And it's just not true.
No.
Look, if you were to ever even try to put plant material in a syringe and inject that into your veins,
It's going to go poorly for you.
it's going to work once. You're going to get high one last time if you even make it to that point.
Yeah. That's not a good idea.
Never in the history of marijuana consumption has anyone ever injected it into their veins.
Yeah. Kids, don't try that at home.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
And Angie.
Angie, you're going to step out after this segment?
Yep, I am.
You've got a big trip tomorrow, and you're leaving at like midnight.
Yes, we're going to Miami.
You're leaving on a jet plane.
For a spinning conference. Bicycles for hours and hours and hours.
So this is the stationary bike classes, spinning.
It is, yeah. We'll be on the bikes from 7 in the morning till 7 at night.
I've taken the classes in spinning, and
Yeah.
it's a fun little thing to do. It's a diversion. So
A diversion.
Yes. Well, diversion
Good
from
cardio.
life. Yeah.
It's great for your knees if you have bad knees.
So well, enjoy your conference going down there, and all the other hyped up on exercise ladies that are out there. Bitcoin.com is your premier source for everything related to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin Cash. And did you guys see the jump in Bitcoin Cash pricing today?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
What was it at?
I don't look at it in
450
U.S.
something.
dollars. I always look at it in against other cryptos.
Yeah.
And
like-
my prediction is that it's a good place to be against other cryptocurrencies, specifically BTC. In the near future, I don't know what's going to happen in the long term, but I'm keeping quite a bit of the funds that I'm in charge of investing in that.
Okay.
So, yeah, check out Bitcoin.com. They'll tell you all about Bitcoin Cash and how to get a wallet, how to buy Bitcoin Cash, where you can spend your Bitcoin Cash, places like SaveAtPurse.com. They'll give you the latest news on cryptocurrencies, and you can engage with the community on the forums. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. And look out soon. There'll be local.bitcoin.com. They're launching June 4th, and that will allow you to buy and sell cryptocurrencies with people right in your community. Local.bitcoin.com. Coming soon.
CoinMarketCap says it's at $459 right now for Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, it's quite a jump.
Yep.
And the Civil War rages on amongst the Bitcoins out there, but either way, all I care about is what works, what's going to have the best pricing, and
now might be a good time to sell that Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. It's at 235 right now. It's up 94% in the past 24 hours.
They've been delisted by a lot of exchanges, so it's difficult to sell the SV.
Really?
Yeah. And I sold out of the SV long ago. So anyway, talking about this story where this mom leaves her 6 kids in a car for 10 minutes to go get some muffins for the kids and her, I presume, at a coffee shop. And, tyranny ensues, right? The cops come, and the cops file a form with the, Kentucky Child Protection System, and the Child Protective Services investigator shows up with a deputy sheriff. The 2 authorities insisted on entering Holly's home, though they had no warrant, warning her that if she stood her constitutional ground and forbade them entry, they would return and take her kids, the lawsuit alleges. Curry let them in. Once inside, I'll tell you that in a second. And this is the trick, because they don't have the right to come in the house, but they have the power to take your children. And what do you do in a circumstance like that? When they threaten, and they mean it, you're going to let us in, or we're going to take your kids away from you. Now, they shouldn't have that power.
I think you got to stand your ground.
I would be terrified. And this is an abuse of power under the color of law. But do I want to have my kid taken from me for weeks, months, while I fight it?
They could still take them. If you let them in and they see one thing that they don't like, they could still say, "Oh, we're taking your kids."
Yep.
Carlos Morales, I think that's how you say his name. He wrote the book. Do you recall the book about?
I don't remember, but he used to work for Child Protective Services.
Anyway, the book has something to do about the case against Child Protective Services, and one of the things he said was that like if you have dirty dishes, they'll do this as like a check mark, and if you get a couple of check marks or something. Basically you could have like dirty dishes, the trash can a little over full, and some dirty laundry somewhere like in the house, and that would be grounds in California for them to take the kids. And he also talks about how it's a huge financial incentive for the the state to have custody of your kids through CPS via injections of money from the federal government, and it's just how they build bureaucracy. And, the police are there to help build bureaucracy and make sure you pay taxes, as far as I'm concerned.
So, let's see. Once inside, the woman from CPS questioned Curry about her home life. Curry answered fully, the lawsuit said, worried that any refusal would add to her peril. The investigator insisted on taking the younger child from Curry's lap and, without permission, began to undress her. In the presence of the male deputy, the investigator proceeded to undress the child, each child, male and female, down to their genitals, removing the diapers of the 2 youngest. Curry tried to object, but she knew she was powerless to stop the investigator from doing full body inspections here. The last to be undressed was her 4-year-old son, taught by his pediatrician that he should never let a stranger take his clothes off without his mom's okay. But when the boy tried to make eye contact with Curry, the investigator stood directly in his line of sight, leaving him helpless. Then the investigator pointed to the deputy and said, "Show that cop your muscles." The little boy removed his shirt and flexed his biceps as ordered. The investigator, I don't even know if my son would know what to do if you said show him your muscles. The investigator and deputy began laughing while the investigator started to pull down his pants. When the little boy finally was able to look back at his mother, she was holding back tears. The little boy's face registered shame and fear.
I got cold chills when you said that they took that child from her and started taking the diaper off of that baby.
Yeah.
There is no way that they would have taken my child from me, and I would have gone to jail. They would have beaten me to a pulp and taken me downtown.
So these, we're nothing but mammals, right?
Yeah.
And when you're talking about that relationship between parents and their children, and it just shows that this society has gone beyond civilized and beyond domesticated to cowed. When you can go into a demand to walk into a person's house and strip their children down to their clothes, shame and humiliate those children in front of their parents, show those children that their parents are powerless to protect them from the state, and we do nothing? I don't think there's I think that Holly, I understand the situation Holly's in, and I get it, but at the same time, this is commentary on our society and what has happened. Ladies and gentlemen, call me right now and tell me we don't live in a police state. Look, I remember listening when it was rolling down the road in like the 1990s, maybe early aughts, and hearing somebody on the radio on a talk show saying we live in a police state. And I laughed. I was like, well, that's a ridiculous thing to say. After you've heard this story about what happened to this woman and about how her children were stripped in front of her, and how she could do nothing, how her young son at 4 years old was, I don't know what else to call this, a sex crime was perpetrated against him.
Absolutely.
Now, maybe he wasn't touched in those places necessarily, but the shame, he experienced that. The fear that a sex crime victim experiences, he doesn't understand this. That's what he experienced. How's he going to feel about cops from here on out? Is it going to be officer friendly? Or is it going to be something else? Police state, prove me wrong. 855-450-3733. We give those numbers to you very clearly. 855-450. Free is in the freedom to strip kids naked. That's what they've got. Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America. as well as sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about what you want to talk about, but right now what I want to talk about is this story from Reason.com where a mother of 6 children left them in the, I presume, minivan. I can't imagine any other vehicle that they could possibly have been in to go get some muffins. She said she was gone 10 minutes. The cops called CPS, Child Protective Services, on them. CPS shows up at the house with the sheriff, and they proceed to strip all the kids naked and check their parts. Now, what this has to do with muffins, I don't know.
I really hope that this, the lawsuit is successful on the, which isn't really going to fix anything because it's just, some bonding company, just forking out money and the insurance rate goes up for the taxpayers is really all it equivalents to. I mean, this family deserves money, but the taxpayers largely don't pay attention and don't care what their government does. Right, and these parasites that working for a CPS, they need to be disciplined very harshly because they're just usurpers of power, and these articles come up all the time.
Sure, so all you have to do is read the blogs. I'm only reading this one because it's, to me, I mean, as jaded as I am after I don't even know how many years here on Free Talk Live, 2002. I was amazed at this line. I'll read this line to you here in just a second, but I want to tell you about Cryptocurrency Wire. If you're trying to reach the crypto market, or perhaps you want to spread mass awareness of your crypto technology, either way, you need a communications company that specializes in the field. Leveraging 35-plus brands and part of the investor brand network and more than 5,000 downstream distribution partners, Cryptocurrency Wires combines the power of specialization with mass market reach. With their help, you can start connecting with crypto-friendly journalists and more than 1.6 million followers. Their commitment is to get the most eyes possible on your big news while it's fresh. Domestic or international, they can reach 56 different countries and also provide translation services. Even if your company is important and a relevant newsmaker, you need someone that specializes in the field to get your message heard. CryptocurrencyWire.com. We've used them here on Free Talk Live to much success. CryptocurrencyWire.com. Let's go to Mike calling in from Toledo. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Thank you for taking my call. I think what we're talking about is being a responsible adult. Your words were she walked in for 10 minutes and maybe got a coffee or a muffin or something like that.
Well, she got the muffins for the kids, according to the story.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, at least the kids, won't be hungry. I think if she returned to the vehicle and one of the kids was gone and 4 days later they found him in a ditch, dead, she'd think, man, that 10 minutes, I might not have done that and everything would have been fine. I just think with kids nowadays, I mean, not nowadays, but being an adult and making sure the children are safe. I mean, let's say there's a kid that's 16 in the car. And he's like, hey, the kids are, you know what, my brothers and sisters are getting warm. Let's roll the windows down, get a little fresh air going. Mom went in to get some muffins for us. and someone reaches in, and don't say this don't happen, because it does.
Yeah, well, sure,
someone
crime
reaches
happens.
in and snatches one of the kids.
But, you know, like, crime happened far more often to kids in the past. I mean, the crimes against children perpetrated by adults whom they don't know happens far less often than it did even when I was a kid. But this wouldn't have been an issue when I was a child. How about you?
Well, I'm 50, so
I'm 48.
Yeah, I mean, you're somewhat what you're saying is pretty true. I mean, it did, you know, so like seat belts and all that stuff back when I was a child, you know, that didn't really matter. But
nope.
I see where the hyper awareness or whatever comes in. I get it. If you walk in to pay for your gasoline and the kids are in the car, they're within eye shot. They're within, I mean, when I had my child, I was so just overwhelmed by being a parent. There's no way I would have walked into a donut shop or a muffin shop or a pizza shop or whatever that you want to call it for 5 minutes, more or less 10, come out, or my kid at 16 comes running into the muffin shop and says, "Hey, Mom, great idea to get us some food, but Junior just got snatched out of the car."
Mike, I think you're a lunatic. I don't know what else to tell you.
you.
I mean, you sound like a crazy person. You know, the likelihood of this happening, it could happen, right? But if a 16-year-old can't stop somebody from kidnapping the kid out of the car, then how is Mom going to do it?
How in the world would a 16-year-old stop a 50-year-old man?
Fine.
All it takes is one good crack up the
How is
side
a
of the head with
30-year-old woman
baseball.
going to do it?
She can obviously stop the person by screaming and yelling
So can
and
the
dialing
16-year-old.
911 on a phone
And
actually put the car in drive and leave. It's just
not like-
unattended children. I mean, we can go through 1,000 scenarios, but unattended
Yes, there are a
children,
lot of
I just-
scenarios put out by fearmongers. And the fact
Well,
is that
I
they're
just think
highly
it's-
unlikely to happen. But what did happen here was a bunch of law enforcement officers came to this lady's house and sexually molested her children. What do you think about that?
Well, I think we would have seen cops sexually having sex with children.
No
in
one
house
claimed that
while
they
mom
had.
and dad watched.
They didn't have sex with the children. They stripped the kids down in front of the lady, including this little.
Okay, but
yes.
Okay, you said everybody's over the top and it getting a little too testy, and a little crazy. I think we're doing the same thing with this sexually molestating or sexually abusing.
Do you think
a
it's
child.
appropriate to take a 4-year-old's pants down while you're chuckling in front of his mom when his mom doesn't want you to?
I would not think that that's appropriate.
That
but
sounds like what they did.
You're selling it to me and everybody else that's listening as the cops came to the door and says, "Hi, Mrs. Jones. Step out of the way before I crack you in the head with this rifle."
Actually, what
I'm
they said
gonna
is
go
that
take the diapers.
Mike, listen to me.
I'm
What
gonna
they
go,
said.
I'm going to go make your children naked.
Put you on hold here for a second, Mike. What they said, in fact, was you can't. If you try to use your constitutional right to demand a warrant, we're going to come back and take your kids. At least according to the lawsuit, Mike. So. No, they didn't say that they were going to crack her in the head with a rifle. What they said they were going to do is do something worse. I would rather get cracked in the head with a rifle than have my children stolen from me, Mike.
And I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the story.
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure you know the details. What would be the reason, and let me finish, what would be the reason for a police officer to come in a home and say, "We got to take the diaper off this kid and see his penis or his vagina because that's just a safety thing we do now"?
I think
it don't happen.
I
there
think-
has to be abuse, something. I mean, obviously, when children are abused,
Well, all I can do is read the
they
story.
can try to hide
Mike,
that.
all I can do is read the story.
Yeah.
But I do know that people with power tend to abuse it. People that are irresponsible.
I agree with you.
Yeah, people
and
who
low
have,
IQ.
Yeah,
Cops
Well,
are all low IQ.
I agree with you.
not all
I
of
agree
them.
with you 100%. I just think there's more. You read the story. It's hard for me
this is
to
one side
sit
of it.
here and think,
Mike, there's no doubt.
It's hard for me to sit here and think the cops just came to the door and said, excuse me, but
That's
you know what? We
because-
came over here to
Look,
talk to
Mike,
you. We
the
didn't have a
reason-
warrant, but we're going to kick your door open and take your kids' diapers off to see their genitals.
The reason
Come on
that you are giving the dispensation to the cops on this instead of the woman, what you're already saying is that she could have had her children stolen away from her on one hand, but on the other hand, you're like, this could never possibly happen. This is ridiculous. These are our boys in blue. Well, I'm sorry to tell you.
Oh, no.
This happens.
I agree with you. I understand what you're saying about the boys in blue because, as a matter of fact, I've been a federal firearms dealer for 28 years, and I've dealt with many, many, many police officers, and I would say at least 75 of them, they're doing the stuff that they're supposed to be stopping. So I'm not a wacko just calling to argue with you. It's just I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. I'm not saying that all cops are good. On the contrary,
Free
I'm
Talk
saying
Live. Thank you.
75% of them are doing...
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, May 31st to June 3rd for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into ancient aliens, human origins, crop circles, and UFO sightings. More than 100 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts like Giorgio Tsoukalos, David Wilcock, Linda Moulton Howe, Eric Von Daniken, Doc Wallach, and so many more. Get your tickets today at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contactinthedesert.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Call in, talk about what you want to talk about. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450. Free as in freedom. And we're talking about this story where this mom and, like, you know, the last caller alleges that some of the facts of the story may not be true. And this is my experience with news stories. I've had multiple news stories happen about me and about things that I know intimately. Right? We're newsmakers here on Free Talk Live, for better or for worse. And so I've had these stories. Not one of them has ever been factually true, completely. Now, that doesn't mean that most of it wasn't true, or part of it wasn't true, or some perception of the facts might have been true, or whatever, but none of them gets every fact right completely. So I concur with the caller that not every fact in this story is true, just because that's what my belief is. But I don't know what happened, and all I can do is deal with the story as it's written, and I believe it. It doesn't surprise me at all that a CPS worker goes to this woman's house because she left her kids in a car for 10 minutes to get some muffins for her and the kids, and I presume some coffee. Coffee wasn't mentioned. And that the CPS worker comes and feels like she's, for one, they tell her that to get in, that they have to let her in. Her and the deputy sheriff have to be let in, and if they're not, they're going to come back and take their kids away. I don't doubt that for a second. That sounds like standard run-of-the-mill stuff to me.
And I really feel you should call them on their bluff, because they are coming in there just trying to find any nonsense reason to gather evidence to use against you. I would just say come back with a warrant and close the door.
Well, I think that could have better and could have worse results. I don't know. But I'm sure they made the threat.
I know that lets the CPS into their house. I have a friend this happened to about a year ago. I said, do not let them in the house. You tell them to leave. I actually had two friends. One friend was all up on it. She's really good. And she wouldn't let him in. She never heard from him again. The father of the child, they were divorced. The father of the child had gotten a DUI with the kid in the car, and CPS showed up to do a checkup, and they said, you have to let us in. And she said, no, you need to come back with a warrant. And if you come back here again and harass me again, I'm going to be, suing you. I charge $50,000 an hour to deal with you guys, and I don't want to deal with you guys. And they left her alone. The other people just complied, and the stuff just piled on, the stuff piled on, and the stuff piled on. And it turned into, like, lawyers getting involved, all kinds of aggravation. The kid's grades went to hell in school, and he was a good kid. It was actually two kids. And the second one where they came in, it was over somebody who was basically mad at the father over a car he had sold him that was not a good car. It was just people retaliating. And that's what a lot of this CPS stuff is like the McCarthyism back in the day when they were saying, hey, my neighbor is a communist. Well, now all you got to say is, hey, my neighbor's molesting his kids. And CPS is going to go there and harass the hell out of those people, whether it happened or not.
Right. And so in this case, there was no evidence presented in this story, none, that this woman would have, that might have been the situation. Now, they basically got permission from this lady by cowing her into submission. But, I see no reason at this point to disbelieve what she says. She has a lawsuit. By the way, I never got to this, and it's worth pointing out. The local Kentucky lawyers and the National Homeschool Legal Defense Association are counsel on the case.
Nice.
These aren't the sort of people, the Homeschool Legal Defense Association isn't the sort of people to take a case if they think that you're, guilty.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you're going to make they don't want their association looking like they're representing deadbeats.
Right. And people who, molesters and all that sort of thing. I do, CPS works with molesters all the time. If you work with molesters day in and day out, pretty soon you think everybody's a molester.
Sure.
That's just how things go. And, the CPS worker did what she was supposed to do. She managed to determine whether or not this family was molesting their kids, even though the reason was because of some muffins. She did what her job was. Her job is to determine whether or not bad things are going on in the house.
Her job is to get kids in state custody. That's what her job is. Her job is to grow bureaucracy, and it's the same. I have a good friend of the family that was in Massachusetts CPS, and that's what she constantly said. They just want to fill up more foster homes. They want to get more kids in the system. That is the agenda.
Let's go to the Discord lines and talk to Luke. Luke, you're on Free Talk Live. Luke, can you hear me now? How about now? Whoops. Let's turn this thing up. Luke? Oh, there you go. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. About 2 weeks later, Holly, that's the mother, was found not guilty of child neglect. But why did a muffin shop stop end with a strip search at all? How dare the authorities not only second-guess a mom's very safe decision, but take their investigation so far beyond the bounds of common sense and decency? That's what motivated the Currys to file their federal civil rights lawsuit that challenges the entry into their home under coercion, the seizure of the children inside the home, and the strip searches.
Bureaucrats are known for not having any common sense whatsoever. I mean, this should be common knowledge now.
Well, I think that, like, when in dealing with the CPS worker, right, in dealing with weirdos and freaks day in and day out, that it's reasonable for a person to come to the conclusion that everybody's a weirdo and a freak. That's why we need constitutional bounds on these people, because the rest of us aren't living in this world, and we don't deserve this stormtrooper tactic where duck, 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 duck. You open up, or we're gonna come back and take your children away from you. I mean, what kind of lunatic says this?
And the thing is, constitutional bounds, I mean, you know, when you're dealing with CPS generally, first off, they don't recognize the Constitution. This Constitution doesn't apply to these agencies. These agencies are, you know, they're municipal corporations that call themselves governmental agencies. This is the same throughout the entire United States. Government is essentially just not living. It's these charities. And there's a really good court case in Massachusetts that went before the Supreme Judicial Court. If you Google Jack Collins, Massachusetts, I can't remember the state police, the Massachusetts civil rights thing there. I can't remember.
ACLU.
ACLU. That's right. They
Mass
helped
CLU.
Ian out. Yeah, the Mass ACLU sued the Massachusetts State Police. Jack Collins was a lawyer for the Massachusetts State Police, and they did not have to follow the Constitution because the Massachusetts State Police are made up of law enforcement councils. And these law enforcement councils are charitable organizations. They file their taxes with the IRS as a charity, and they are registered as a charity. And the Supreme Court of Massachusetts said that the Massachusetts law enforcement councils are charities and not required to answer public records requests because they are not part of the government. They are governmental agencies. The suffix on the end of the word the suffix AL on the end of a word means similar to or like. They are not governments. And this is the same thing with Child Protective Services. The Constitution doesn't even hardly matter anymore because nobody's being belligerent about it. Nobody is bringing up the Constitution. And this is why you have to sue these people in these agencies individually, and they do not have sovereign immunity because they are not constitutional agencies.
So what Lenore Scadese, the author, says here, if they win, it'll reinforce what should be a given. Parents deserve the right to make seat-of-the-pants decisions that do not put their kids in any real, obvious, and statistically likely danger. Waiting 10 minutes for muffins falls into the no real danger category. And, I mean, I would agree. If you take all your kids into the muffin shop and a gas leak in the muffin shop causes the whole thing to blow up, are you then a terrible parent for taking your kids into the muffin shop rather than leaving them out in the car?
Yeah, and even just hiking 6 kids through a parking lot.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's more dangerous than, I'm not saying it's dangerous. It is not dangerous to walk 6 kids through a parking lot. However, it is more dangerous to walk them through the parking lot than it is to leave them in the vehicle for 10 minutes. And that's what we're talking about here is people need to be able to make decisions about their kids. I realize sometime in the relatively near future, the government's going to take all the kids and raise them in little incubators, and they're going to get no real human contact, and we're going to have generation upon generation of psychopaths. I get it. I've read Brave New World. I understand. But for today, we don't want that. Today, what we don't need is governmental employees coming into people's houses, breaking the Constitution and stripping their kids naked.
I wonder how many rape kits in this particular town or county or whatever they call themselves are sitting on a shelf and haven't been tested yet.
Right.
Because from what I understand, there is labs all over the country
with 3 years going back. Rape
yes,
kits, yeah.
And all I got to do is test them.
Right.
But they're busting people over, 10 minutes, kids in the car.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live. Or use the Discord rooms at discord.freetalklive.com.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,280. Silver at $14.41. And Bitcoin is trading around $8,646. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has been admitted into the hospital ward of Belmarsh, following reports by Assange's defense lawyer that a motion to delay a hearing in Sweden next Monday on the provably fraudulent rape allegations has been denied. Reuters reports the Swedish prosecutor heading an investigation into the rape allegation against Assange, which he denies, this month filed a request with a local court for him to be detained with a hearing scheduled for June 3rd. Activist Post reports that Assange's lawyer cited his health conditions as one of the reasons that the hearing should be delayed, stating that his client was not able to have a normal conversation, and as a result, he has not had enough time to get a defense together. However, despite ongoing health concerns of Assange, the court denied the motion to delay the hearing, scheduled for next Monday in Sweden. The denial of extending the hearing past Monday is compounded with originally denying lawyers access to court transcripts of statements to copy, pushing his defense to have to read documents and then remember what was said to write it up by memory, which would obviously create a flimsy defense by design. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. On Wednesday, National Security Advisor John Bolton told a group of reporters in Abu Dhabi that naval mines, almost certainly from Iran, had been used to conduct the alleged sabotage attack on 4 commercial vessels off the coast in the United Arab Emirates. Bolton is currently in Abu Dhabi ahead of an emergency summit scheduled for Thursday in Saudi Arabia, where top U.S. and allied Arab officials will discuss the implications of the tanker attacks and drone strikes 2 days later on oil pumping stations in the kingdom. Minpress News reports the murkiness that still surrounds what caused the tanker sabotage, as well as the very limited extent of the alleged damage, suggests that the poorly executed incident either did not go as planned or it was a freak accident that has now been manipulated for weeks by the U.S. and its regional allies for political gain. However, Iran is far from being the clear culprit, especially given that 3 foreign militaries, including the U.S. Navy, concluded a mine warfare naval drill just weeks before the sabotage incident occurred. Thanks to a provision in the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp is no longer a federally illegal controlled substance in the United States. The passage of the Farm Bill allows farmers and cultivators to grow the once demonized cannabis plant and to even restart long-forgotten operations. The Mind Unleashed reports that, as it turns out, legally allowing farmers to grow the plant and sell it to processors is having a massive effect on employment in the United States across multiple sectors. The hemp industry took in $1.1 billion in revenue in 2018 and is on track to more than double that in 2022, with $2.6 billion in revenue, according to New Frontier data. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
While waiting to interview for a web consultant position with local marketing firm Bizco, applicant Ryan Ehrlich told Onion reporters he wasn't entirely sure he was dynamic enough for his prospective employer.
When I first saw that the agency was looking for a leader willing to contribute as a valued member of the team, I thought I was the perfect fit. But the more I think about it, the less I'm sure I'm actually an energetic self-starter. I mean, I think I'm a versatile independent thinker, but honestly, how do you even know for sure?
Ehrlich, who found Bizco's online job posting earlier this week, went on to express doubts that he truly possesses the forward-thinking instincts and next-generation idea assets required to work with the fast-paced marketing firm's team of self-starters.
Can I reimagine a brand for a digital landscape? Sure, but do I really have the energy, skills, enthusiasm, and passion to be a part of this dynamic, growth-oriented company? I just don't know. Oh God, who am I kidding? There's no way I'm on the cutting edge.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Call in. Talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
Jay.
Angie has stepped away. She has to take a flight early in the morning, so she had to leave a little early. And Jay, we were just talking about a crazy situation, where a mom left her 6 kids in the car. I presume that car is a minivan, to get some muffins at a coffee shop. And she comes back. The cops are there. The cops file a CPS thing against her. The CPS and a sheriff come to her house. They say that if you don't let us in, we're going to come back with the warrant, and we're going to take your kids. And she lets them come in, and then the CPS worker proceeds to disrobe some of her children. I don't know if all of them, including a 4-year-old who she said looked scared and ashamed after all this occurred. And, you know, it's scary when you think about custody in that way, but this sort of thing can not only happen to your children, it can happen to you. So this story isn't really recent. It's from last year, but I've been holding it because I was kind of waiting for the right time to talk about it. And here it is, coming from Fox 4 News. This is the the local affiliate down in Collier County, which is where Naples is, I believe. A woman is taking action after becoming the victim of a bogus guardianship case. Have you heard of this guardianship stuff, Jay?
I mean, is this guardianship over kids?
Nope.
Or like...
Nope.
No, I don't know then.
Well, I'll read a little bit about it, then I'll explain it, okay? So Karen Federighi, received a knock on her door in January 2016 from a court-appointed attorney and a sheriff's deputy. I'm told that I'm a ward of the state. The guardianship case normally involves a relative asking a court to be given decision-making rights over another relative's estate if that person can no longer make decisions for themselves. So, you know, if one of your parents has become demented and it needs help, and a lot of times when people are dealing with dementia, they're, not all there, and they're not making the best decisions, and sometimes, admittedly, courts have to step in and let people make decisions.
I do know what you're talking about now. Yeah. I have a friend who recently had to go through this with his father because of very bad dementia and Alzheimer's.
Right. And what happens is that sometimes, and it's not as uncommon as you might think, people who are completely capable of taking care of themselves, completely in control of their faculties, are swept up into this because, in many cases, you're not invited to the hearing. You never even get a chance to present your side of the story. The judge never even asks because most of the time when they're dealing with this, it's just easier to write the paperwork. Yeah, whatever. Go take care of them. Obviously they need the help, right? Because otherwise, why would somebody be there helping?
I would say all U.S. citizens are actually property of the state. There's a federal court. There's a Supreme Court ruling on it. Fox Steel versus Wheeling Steel in the 70s. But, a U.S. citizen is a second-class citizen. A U.S. citizen was specifically created by an act of the Constitution, the 14th Amendment. You had your first class of citizens are your state citizens. This is why I claim to be a New Hampshirean, not an American, not a United States citizen. New Hampshire's my nation. I am a citizen of the New Hampshire nation, not the state of New Hampshire and not the United States.
Well,
just to be clear.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the first-class citizenship and U.S. citizenship is the second-class citizenship, this is about ninth-class citizenship, right? So these people have no rights.
Second-class citizens are slaves as far as I'm concerned.
Federighi says a jealous relative filed a guardianship against her. The court deemed her incapacitated to handle her finances, even though there isn't anything wrong with her. The legal proceedings drained Karen of all of her finances. Desperate, she moved away. I finally escaped in November of 2016. So this happened in January of 2016. And, by
nearly a year.
Yeah. By November, a philanthropist saw my story on the internet, it says, and wired me some money. Karen returned to Collier County trying to get some justice of her own. My nursing career ended. My character totally assassinated. Another Collier County woman, Peggy Dupree, is suing the county as well. And she didn't lose her estate, she lost her son. She claims her autistic son was treated by a doctor without her knowledge. When Peggy alerted authorities, she lost custody of her son. Though Karen and Peggy's cases are different, they're joining forces to try and stop what they say is a broken and corrupt system. It's not just about the money. It's about exposing how corrupt these guardianships are and how it exposes the vulnerable and the weak. Karen says that she has another lawsuit pending in Chicago against the relatives who sued to get control of her inheritance in the first place. So what happens here is, and this can happen, it often happens to people over the age of 65, right?
And this can only happen because government provides a system for it to happen.
Yes.
This kind of stuff could not happen without the organized crime racket calling itself government.
Right. That much is absolutely true. They use a system which makes some sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make any sense. It's just that, I mean, it's abused in some cases, and that needs to be pointed out, and it's very important to point it out. So as we get older, at some point we're going to reach a point when we're no longer able to take care of ourselves, or we're going to be dead. One of those two things is going to occur. And it happens for different people at different ages. I'm sure Collier County, Florida deals with this far more often than your average county.
Oh, yeah, you got a lot of retirees down there, and their kids probably aren't around, or they might not have kids.
Right, so the judges are probably just going through and rubber stamping these things, and that's going to necessarily have a consequence, just rubber stamping stuff. So if, for instance, Jay, I was to say that you're incapable of taking care of yourself, and you need a court-appointed guardian. Well, the guardians are able to bill your estate for everything that they do.
Oh, it's just like when they put the people in a nursing home, $90,000. A woman I know, $92,000 in like 4 months. That's what her life savings was, $92,000. It's like 88-year-old lady, and they wiped out her bank account in 4 months. The nursing home,
and then they kicked her out and sent her to the poor home in
then
town.
Medicare kicked in. I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Right, and that's the whole scam, is that any money you have saved up and you finally end up in a place where they take care of folks like this.
And this kind of scam happens everywhere. It happens in the corporate world. It happens in the private world. An example that happens in the corporate world is like this happened to Toys R Us Corporation. Some equity firm acquires Toys R Us, and then the way they literally looted Toys R Us was, which wasn't doing great anyways, but it had a lot of assets and all kinds of things, is this private equity firm owns some kind of, lawyering company or law firm. I don't know what the heck it was called, but they would do administrative work and legal things, and they just start billing the heck out of, Toys R Us till there's nothing left. They sucked up the pensions. They, liquidated all the assets, and, it was like, they slice and dice these, pretty stable asset rich companies and take the pensions and everything. And this is another thing that could not happen without lawyers and government.
It's legalized plunder.
Yes.
And that's 100% what it is. And there have been story after story done about these people who do this for a living. And they, I'm sure many of them are fine folks or whatever. And I don't know all of them, but I know that some of them are bilking people.
There's some federal investigation going on now. Actually, a caller called in about it. That guy, called him angry from Arizona. If he called, he could fill in a little bit. Not Arizona, New Mexico. I forget his name. I think Dave. But and I heard about this elsewhere in a few different things where these the probate judge are basically going through these probate things, and they're finding where this guy dies and there isn't really any immediate relatives.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they got busted is because this one dude had like this judge got busted because one dude had a nephew or something that wasn't in the country, or I don't remember the details, but basically there was an error. There was an error, and these judges had literally like stole the estate, and they were able to assign the estate to themselves somehow. I don't know all about it, but like this happens way too often.
Right, and it's, ladies and gentlemen, you are not immune from this sort of thing occurring. This court case in 2016 that this lady was dealing with, it was a relative that was angry that she got an inheritance that the relative didn't get, and the money's probably already spent. She's trying to get it back. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dinovite.com.
With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dinovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dinovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dinovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
I believe the crypto winter is over. That, if true, means that crypto prices may be on the rise and more news will be on the horizon. Get the latest and freshest crypto news at news.bitcoin.com. They have a real staff that does real reporting, not the rehashed stuff you're getting from most crypto news outlets. I am proud and happy to say that news.bitcoin.com is my first stop for all news crypto related. News.bitcoin.com. Don't forget that you can get a free Bitcoin Cash wallet and free Bitcoin Cash at free.bitcoin.com. Free crypto at free.bitcoin.com. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISSparis.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And Jay.
Feel free to call in about guardianship abuse or anything else here on Free Talk Live. We're going to get right back into it, but I want to tell you about a website. If you've got a retail business and you want to be able to take cryptocurrency, go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. If you have a retail business or you have a kind of business where you go to people's houses or whatever, have any kind of business, you probably should be taking cryptocurrency because the crypto people, they're loyal and they'll tell their friends. And you might even get a news story out of it because, hey, local plumber takes Bitcoin or whatever. These kind of things, those are lots of good reasons to take cryptocurrency. Go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. They make it easy for you. And when I say easy, very easy. If you already have a cryptocurrency wallet, this could be as little as 2-minute process. Helpmetakebitcoin.com. And either way, if you don't have one, they'll tell you how to do that too. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. They got videos right there on the site to make it easy for you. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. Let's go to Bob calling him from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Bob, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, sir. I wanted to tell you about the scam the government's pulling on me and my wife.
Okay.
My wife is 74 years old. I'm 69. She is a brittle diabetic, which means she's very, very sick. She ran out of rehab days, and so she's got to stay out of the hospital 60 days in order to reset her rehab days. She can't do it. She may be 2 to 3 weeks before she go out of the hospital. The solution from the government is you go into a choices program, and when you go into the choices program, we'll take care of her. But when you die, your house goes to the government.
Really?
And yes, sir. It's called the choices program. You look it up. You have to sign everything that when you go on Medicaid that I can stay in my house as long as I'm alive, but as soon as I die, then the government takes my house and they sell it. My children get nothing, zero, nuka, because they're gonna screw me into the ground.
This is clearly a crazy system, and I'm not trying to defend it at all, but here's where my mind goes first, Bob. Is it possible to do a quit claim deed? First, quit claim your kid onto the house, and then quit claim yourself off of the house, and basically give your house to your kid. Have a contract with them that says, hey, we can stay in our house as long as we want, and then after that, you guys do what you want with it. But then...
the government's already figured that out, sir. They'll go back 5 years, and if you've done that less than 5 years, then you committed fraud.
I see.
Yeah, another thing that's really getting popular is these reverse mortgages.
Yeah.
There's a fella I buy hay from, and he has been telling me that they keep on sweetening the pot on his New York home and farm, and his farm is very valuable to develop where it is. And they're offering him all kinds of money on his reverse mortgage thing, and his health isn't that good. I mean, I don't even think he's going to make hay this year. He's pretty old. He's like 89 years old, and he just can't do things. And he says, oh, yeah, the bank wants to buy it. And I'm like, what, you got a mortgage on it? He goes, no, but I keep on getting these reverse mortgage calls where they're going to give me a couple $1,000s a month for the rest of my life. And he's like, I could be gone tomorrow. And he's got one kid and 2 grandchildren. And, and he's just, and I've been hearing this, for a few years now. This reverse mortgage thing sounds kind of similar to what they're talking about. So in Bob's situation here, it's either suffer and his wife suffers and not goes to rehab, or sign over your house. Sounds like.
Bob,
That's right too.
What about this, Bob?
The thing about
I got one more idea. Shoot down this idea. See if you can. So there's things called home equity lines, and you can get basically they'll give you a loan for the value of your house. Now, this isn't as good as turning it over to your relatives or whatever, but then you can get the value out of the house in dollars now, and then the government can take it from you later, and it'll still, the note will still be on it. So you can have the cash and be able to pay your expenses or whatever, but the government really can't take it from you if it's in cash. How's that?
That's an option, and I really appreciate that, sir. And one on the reverse mortgage.
Yeah.
What if that guy dies? He signs the papers and then he dies the next day. His family gets nothing.
Yeah. That's basically it.
These reverse mortgages don't seem like a good.
At all.
Yeah, they don't seem like a good idea to me at all. I'm sure that there's somebody out there somewhere where this is the right move for them. But I would think, ladies and gentlemen of America, I would think long and hard before I signed up for a reverse mortgage.
And Bob, with your wife's rehab, I don't know how in depth it is. If you need, does it require being in a hot tub, doing certain exercises and stretches? You might be able to find someone who is in this business, who does this, some certified nurse's assistant or some physical therapy. I don't know what part of the country you're in, if there's any of these people are on Craigslist to help out with this. But I dated a girl a few years ago, and she was a CNA, and she did some advertising for in-home care, and she would help take care of folks. And she still does this, from what I understand. And she charges like, I don't know, $21 an hour, I think. That's what she was doing back then. But if you hired a firm, it would cost you $45 an hour, basically. And they would pay the nurse, $12 an hour. So, there are options. I don't know if you need special equipment, but if you needed if part of my grandmother's physical therapy to rehabilitate her hip and her knee, required her to do these stretches in a hot tub. And she had to go, to this because I brought her there several times, and the nurses would stretch her and manipulate her body certain ways for, part of the rehab. So, do a little investigation of what you need. You might be able to source it with cash, and maybe you buy a hot tub, or I don't know what you need for implements, but the stuff is out there, and we could anybody can get creative and get some things done.
Can I ask you one more question? Because I feel I'm more libertarian than Republican.
Okay.
How does the libertarians feel about health care? Or is everybody supposed to supply their own? Or what's the way they feel about that?
Yeah, I think that healthcare is so messed up in this country that it's difficult to even see the libertarian position. The libertarian position is the government shouldn't have been involved in healthcare in the first place, and that the price of healthcare, the healthcare costs have gone up commensurate with government intrusion. So as government got further and further and further into the healthcare industry, prices went farther and farther and farther up. And some, Bob, might call it a conspiracy, that maybe they realized that when Hillary Clinton tried to make Medicare for all or whatever it was that she was going to do, that dog wouldn't hunt. But if we make healthcare expensive enough, then everybody will clamor for the government to take over for it. And so maybe that's why George Bush had the largest intrusion of government in the medical sphere under his administration. Then Obama had the largest at that time, too. And now healthcare costs are through the roof and nobody can afford it. And some kind of solution has to be had.
Yes, sir, because this is terrible, the way that we are being treated by our own country. We worked our lives and supported a Social Security system and a health care system, and now when we need it, we can't afford it.
You're absolutely right, Bob. Thank you for the call.
That's the life of a slave.
That's what happens when you let the government do things. 855-450-3733.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon you'll need a plan and place to survive. Forget bunkers. You're not a live underground gopher. You need survivalist camps, the ultimate fully functional, off-the-grid mobile survival bug-out house that's well-equipped and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Bold statement? You bet. See them now at survivalistcamps.com. That's survivalistcamps.com. Trust your family's survival to survivalistcamps.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Are
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in. Talk about what you want to talk about. We're talking about guardianship abuse here. And just had a gentleman call in, and, you know, sad story is his wife needs medical care, and the government rules on how she's going to get it, and she can't get it because, you know, she's been in the hospital too many times in the last X number of days, and now she has to be out for like 6 months, and she can't be. It's a really difficult situation, and
they basically have to sign over their house to get it done. Sounds like the predicament that they're in. So hopefully they can outsource this, go around the traditional legacy, you know, go to a place and get, you know, rehab or a rehab unit, and maybe hire some people to come into their house and just do it there. I mean, people just need to start taking more responsibility for their health care in general. We've gotten to the point to where I feel here in America that so many of the normies, so many of the muggles are like, oh, government's going to, or the hospital, I'll just, you know, I don't have to pay attention to anything. And
that's what we're told our whole lives.
Yeah, most people are told. And that's what they're conditioned to do.
And, I mean, you know, you can see why people are in these situations, but it's I don't know. It's just sad. I feel
eating margarine and fried food for years and drinking all kinds of soda and just not exercising.
A type 1 diabetic is born that way and really can't do much about it. But
that's what they had going on.
She was brittle diabetic, and usually that's what that means.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, I want to tell you about Freedom's Phoenix. Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. Do you want a news and the freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty? freedomsphoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. Freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. It's freedomsphoenix.com, run by our friend Ernest Hancock. So let's go to the phones here. We got William calling in from, looks like, Nevada. William, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, sir, gentlemen. The topic is financial elder abuse.
Yes.
The elder generation has accumulated wealth. They trust people. They get a little dementia, and all the parasites take over.
Yeah, you're right. That's what happens.
Yeah, and
so I have I have a husband and wife power of attorney over my mother, and he had a diagnosis from a doctor that said my mom could no longer take care of herself, but he ignored that. And at some point, a few years later, 5 years, her sister went to the convalescent home and abducted my mother and sent her to L.A. County and forged a letter, opened up a bank account, stole $70,000. And there's no recourse as far as law enforcement or any of that. What I suggest is everybody save their emails, take a picture of any check you get, and keep track of these things. So I filed a petition in court without any trust instrument, May 23rd, 2017. The next day, I was in San Diego District Attorney's office. I talked to them less than an hour. My aunt pled guilty to 12 felonies on November 30th, 2018.
Well, so
No jail
actually,
time.
it happened pretty well. I mean, but still, I mean, I'm surprised the story turned out this well. Honestly, I mean, it's a long time between the 2017 date and the 2018 date, though.
That's right, but it's not over yet because I still have the husband and wife power of attorney. My mother's convalescent home is $6,800 a month.
Yeah.
For me to call the receiver, which is the accountant appointed by the court, to tell me that another lawyer is lying to me cost $100 for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it's financial alert abuse. It's the fastest growing crime, at least in California.
Yeah, and it's bad in Florida, too.
Yes. So what you need to do, make peace with your family, tell them what you want, and get the lawyers and the accountants out of there. I can't find a lawyer that will do anything except give me bad advice. I had one guy tell me the truth. He goes, I don't care. I just want to get paid. So the truth or doing the right thing is out the window as soon as you get accountants and lawyers. They don't care. They just want your money.
Yeah. I'm scared to death of this scenario happening.
And this elder.
Okay, so I'm
just going to say
I'm pro
this.
se. I've done it myself. I studied the law.
Good.
I filed the petitions. And if you go in if you're indigent or you don't have any money, you can go in and waive the $430. You get $430 fee waiver.
Yep.
If you can do that. It's a subject for the future, gentlemen. Thank you.
No, it's a subject I want to talk about. Keep talking about, because I think this is an issue of liberty that is facing Americans. Increasingly they're dealing with this, and it's a whole bunch of different ways that they can screw your estate to Sunday. You think you've worked your whole life so that you'll be taken care of in your old age, and then maybe be able to pass on a little bit to your kids or grandkids. And there are these rapacious vultures out there that intend to pick you dry, and then once they have, they will throw you in the poorhouse. These nursing homes that are intended for those that are indigent, like you were saying. And I'm not saying that they're the worst things in the world, but they aren't palatial, right? They're bare bones, and it's not what a lot of people were working for and what they expected.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what happened here is the district attorney got a prosecution. They got a conviction without even a court trial. But they left me in the cold because I go, wait a second, I got a husband and wife power of attorney. Look at the trust instrument. There, in the original trust, you had 6 months to divide it into a survivor's portion and an exemption trust. Well, my mother didn't do that within 6 months. But it doesn't matter because the lawyer will tell you what you believe, and they'll take your money. And now I have 2 trusts without a valid trust instrument, and it goes on and on. And if you go to court, that judge, you can't assume he even read the contract. I mean, you got to hold his hand like he's a 3-year-old.
Yeah, well, he's not going to read that thing. I mean, these things are pages and pages long. They're not going to read it. You absolutely do have to tell them step by step. William, let me know if there's any new information in this case as it proceeds. The numbers, thank you so much for the call. 855-450-3733, 855-450-FREE. Here from the story here, it says a guardian is someone who's appointed by the court who can act on behalf of the individual who's under a mental or physical disability and as a result is unable to make responsible decisions about his or her care or property. But, that obviously there are people in those conditions. However, if you get thrown into one of these situations and you aren't one of them, or a family member does, and you can't do anything about it, that's a really tough scenario. I mean,
and I'll bet you a lot of these situations where this elder abuse happens is for like what the examples that we've just heard isn't like these is probably not this old lady who has nothing and lives in an apartment and is getting a Social Security check for $500 a month.
No, it's people who've managed to save.
But I will tell you, I do know of a situation where the victim is 85 years old. She collects about $1,100 a month between Social Security and pension. And she has a son that's 57. I think he's 57. And he's a crackhead. And
you should still find crack? I thought that stuff went out in like 1992.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's all still around. I mean, the government invented it. It's here to stay. So anyways, he's a crackhead. And she gets her Social Security on like the 3rd or the 4th, and she gets her pension on like a couple days later. Well, for those few days, he just basically swipes her debit card, and he's gone. And totally wipes it out. And she is just like totally denies that her son's stealing from her. And it's like,
how's she eat?
Well, she lives with another relative that feeds her and takes care of her. And then her son shows up and steals from her.
God.
That's how she eats.
Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE. You got to think about these things before they happen, people.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
What? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Visit GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. I want to tell you about the AMP program. You go to amp.freetalklive.com and amplify the program like JCass. He's a silver amplifier, which means $5 a month. That gives him access to several perks, including the Facebook group where I was just posting today. And that's only for amplifiers. So go to amp.freetalklive.com. Help us to spread the ideas of liberty, to spread the ideas of freedom of speech. If you're concerned with elderly people being taken advantage of, like we're reading here, well, the AMP program allows you to help us to get on more radio stations, to get more people listening to the podcast. And these are the ways that we spread these ideas. I want to tell you about this one last story real quick. It's of Rudy and Renee North, who were happily living together in Las Vegas when one day there was a knock at the door. It was one of the officers of the court who gave the couple 3 options. This is a quote from Rudy. We call the police, we have you go to a psychiatric ward, or choice 3, an assisted living facility. They were suddenly moved to a facility by a woman they had never met before, who was given control of them by a judge who had also never met them. And by the time they got out from under the guardian's control 2 years later, most of their money was gone. These people had a savings, and it was more than, I believe, if I remember correctly, $200,000, and most of it was gone.
I gotta believe that there is these services, law firm services, full of lawyers. I refer to lawyers as bar maggots. I advise people to never deal with lawyers. They're lying scumbags. Pretty much everyone I've ever met, and they've just got to be looking for these people, hustling them. I mean, and it's so easy to do now with data. I mean, your data's out there everywhere.
Right.
I mean, everything is known about everybody, and especially a lot of these, folks are on. Everybody's on Facebook and got a Gmail account, and they swipe their Stop and Shop card or whatever, and just all the data's out there. The data's mined, and it's for sale. And you can buy data. I'm sure. I don't know how to do it, but there has got to be firms.
It's out there.
They're just looking for these people to hunt them down and steal from them.
Let's go to the phones. David in New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
I got in my right hand, I got the original document that separated me from my children, which piece by piece, it's only one page, but can't go through it all at one time. But piece by piece, I want to share some things from it because it's along the lines of what you started out with when the woman who had left her children in the car and the CPS, Child Protective, came into her home with the cops and they stripped her children naked. It's along the lines of that kind of thing. But let me say that subject and the one you're talking about now, they're all related. Everything is related nowadays. It's all tied together to accomplish the agendas that the people of the industrial complex that is your government. This is all by design. None of this is by accident. At the end of your life, they want your money during your life, and at the end of your life, they want to get that. They want to recapture all of that money. So really, you never got anything unless you outsmart them in the ways that you can. And then when they figure out a way, like your one gentleman clued you into that if you get rid of your assets less than 5 years from the time that you are spending Medicaid dollars, then they'll charge you with fraud. So basically, in that case, as soon as you have heirs that you intend to pass on things to at your death, even if you're 35 years old, you should start passing them on to the next generation so that it's not legally in your name as you age. And one of the things that, if you go back, whether you want to count it as 100 years or 200 years or 75 years, it's different for every people in place. But when the Industrial Revolution broke down the family, I believe that people in power saw the benefits to the people in power of the breaking down of the family. Because if you go back to, let's say you go back 200 years and there's a family on a farm somewhere in the United States, they didn't have any need for nursing homes. I mean, it might have helped with some things, but they took care of their own. But then the government came along and said, hey, don't work on the farm. Come and work in the factory here. We'll give you all this money. And so the people abandoned grandma, and then they needed to made a new business so they could sell nursing home space, and people would have to pay for that cash, or else buy a policy, or hey, we'll help you with Medicaid. But you gotta have no assets in order to qualify. So you gotta you have to spend down your assets, or have.
It's a heck of a jump forward from the Industrial Revolution to Medicaid, but I'll at least agree with the last part of your premise.
Are you saying that you can't? Are you saying you can't follow it?
I'm saying that the Industrial Revolution was inevitable. I don't think it was some kind of government conspiracy. And
okay, you're missing the point. Let me help you out. They may not have the foresight to say, hey, let's have our industrial revolution so that we can do this to the citizens. What these idiots do is, when the natural flow of things happens, like you have a natural industrial revolution, which you identified. Now let me give you the next step, which you haven't identified. That's the maggots and the parasites see what happens. This is breaking up the family. Hey, you know what? We can make money off of this. And what I'm trying to tell you is, no matter what it is, they find a way to make money off of it.
Yep, they're maggots and parasites. That's true.
That's what I said. So do you follow it now?
Well, I'm not sure that I see the correlation between the Industrial Revolution and this, but I certainly see that in the.
Let's drop that. Let you think about it some other time.
Okay.
And let me just move on. So on the subject of the children thing, the way the equivalent situation that happened to those people, what happened to me was, under the current laws that we have, my ignorance, not knowing that if you have possession, meaning you're physically holding your child, that the other parent can't take that child away from you. So if you split up with your spouse, and you allow, as one parent, you allow the other parent to leave that household and establish a new household and take your children with, that was a mistake, because then you can only get your children back with their cooperation or with a court order.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
And now you're in the situation where you were talking. Your caller just now, a few minutes ago, was talking about, and Jay was talking about, don't patronize the attorneys. And that's correct. It can work out for you if you have a lot of money to spend and you pay the right attorneys. It can work out for you, but it's going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars to make it work out for you.
Aren't you basically going to a gunfight with a knife if one spouse has has an attorney in a family court situation and the other doesn't?
I don't think so.
Dave?
You're saying, are you going into?
Yeah, I'm asking a question.
Yeah. You are. You can survive or even win in that situation, but it's extremely difficult. I mean, I've managed to stay alive this entire time without an attorney that I was paying for, and most of it without any attorney at all. And the only reason I stayed alive is because I had enough raw brain power to navigate my way through the legal system, get what minimal education I needed in order to stay alive. Whereas the majority of other people, without professional help, wouldn't have been able to keep their case alive. So yeah. However, if you have the ability to do these things yourself, which if you have an IQ of 120 or above, you can do fairly well as compared to the average person. and it's worth pursuing, because if you go the attorney route, you're going to spend, like I said, you're guaranteed in any kind of a case like what we're talking about, you're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars and closer to $100,000 than
doesn't
than
the other
zero.
the other spouse have to spend that same kind of money in order to do this?
Correct. So if
where do they get it?
If they tap out, well, it depends. They might get it from their parents. They might already have it. I mean, in my case, they destroyed my ability to earn. And they're a two-income household, both of them making closer to 100 than to 50. So take their combined income of a minimum of a combined of $100,000 to mine, which is like basically 10% of that. So they can afford to pay an attorney, and I can't. So it depends on who you're matched against, yeah. And the attorneys will weigh this out too. They'll be looking at that's part of their case strategy. How much money does my side have to work with compared to how much money does the other side have to work with?
That's some scorched earth stuff
you were
there.
Talking about a case,
that's scary stuff.
The case you were talking about just now, were you talking about a Julie Belshie, Belshe? Were you talking about her case when you're talking about that guardianship case?
I'm not sure that was one of the names of one of the cases. I don't.
Okay, well, hers is probably, it was her parents that they, unbeknownst to her parents disappeared, literally disappeared one day. She couldn't find them. When she finally tracked them down 2 months later, they were living in, and they had some dementia. They were living in assisted living.
They kidnapped
them.
David, thank you for the call. I was given the telephone number. Check us out at freetalklive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in